Hey YouTube, I am back with part 3 of my fertility story, so please stay tuned.
I feel thorns where my crown was. I'll be weak, but I'm alive from the dust until dawn. Yeah, I'll survive, cause I got sweet victory. Nobody can take it from me. Sweet victory, cause I got sweet victory. Yeah. I feel thorns where my crown was. I'll be weak, but I'm alive from the dust until dawn. Yeah, I'll survive, cause I got sweet victory. Nobody can take it.
Once again, welcome back. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. You can also go back to my previous videos and you can watch all my other videos there. So without further ado, let's get right into the story. So I'm going into my new OB, and as I spoke about in my last video, I did change OBs because I was uncomfortable with what I had. So going in, I came in very prepared. I came in with a notebook with questions, and I actually spent more time asking him questions than he had the chance to ask me. He seemed very knowledgeable. I was so impressed with him. He didn't seem nervous at all, especially the fact I came in with a notebook. And when I opened the notebook in front of him, he saw a list of questions. I know, don't judge me. I'm that type of girl. A girl has to do what a girl has to do in order to get what she wants. After he answered all of my questions, I told him, you looked through all my medical record. So with you looking through it, do you think I'm able to find out what's wrong with me? He said, yeah, sure. He said, we will make sure, we get to the bottom of this. We get to the root of your problem. He said, of course, we're going to ask you to get some lab work done. And I also had issues with receiving documentation from my previous OB. They wasn't trying to release all my medical records. I don't know what that was about, but there were some issues with that part. So, I didn't mind doing more lab work. So I did a much more lab work than I initially did the first time, which it was okay with me as long as, I was going to get some kind of answer. Got my lab done, got other testing done. The whole time, I just prayed about it, and my gut was telling me that what I found out on my research, that I was very correct on what I thought that I would have been diagnosed with. So I did make my next appointment, for a follow-up. And on that appointment, they gave me my results of my lab works and the other tests that I did. And I was a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie, because I knew that this could be the day to my answer, and I knew this was either make it or break it. And when I say make it or break it, I'm talking about like, is either something, that, there's hope, or there's something that could turn out to be very scary. And a lot of the females that's trying for fertility, that has fertility issues, or that that's trying to conceive, the TTC world knows that it can be scary sometimes when you approach certain doctors or when you go to certain doctor's appointments, because you don't know what you're going to hear. So you're being hopeful, hoping the answers that you get, you can move forward and continue with your journey. So I go in, I'm sitting in his office waiting, I change into the gown, waiting for some answers, and he comes in and sits down. And before he could get to open his mouth, I said to him, I am so sorry, because I was very anxious. I was like, I'm so sorry. I have to ask you this question. Do I have cervical insufficiency? And he said, yes, you do have a incompetent cervix. I said, incompetent what? He was like, it's okay. Let's take a deep breath here. Incompetent cervix is the same thing as cervical insufficiency. And I was like, okay. So I took a deep breath. Then he was like, okay, it's the same diagnosis. You know, there's just two different ways you can call it. Then he was like, I'm very impressed. What made you think that's what you had? Because it's not a condition that's very common. It's more common now than it was in the past. He said, what made you think? I said, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I joined into this community of women on Abby Loopers. And I said, I even found doctors' names that can help with this diagnosis. I said, but I just read other people's story and I was very convinced that this had to be my problem. So for those people who don't know what incompetent cervix is or cervical insufficiency, is when your cervix will begin to dilate before, you know, a pregnancy reaches full term. In most cases, people with cervical insufficiency, their cervix will start to dilate in the second trimester, somewhere between, you know, the 14th week before you reach to the third trimester, is when the cervix begins to shorten. And once it starts shortening, it starts to dilate, it starts to open up, and it causes you to have a preterm baby. It causes you to go into labor early. So, you know, once I did my research and I figured out what I had, and he confirmed with me as well, I was very confident, you know, and then he gave me hope. He told me, you know, there's ways they could try to correct that. Also, please stay tuned for my other videos that will be coming out on Fridays. And please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel. Click on the bell so you can receive notifications. And don't forget to visit my blog. It's at www.caringforyourmindbodyspirit.com. Again, www.caringforyourmindbodyspirit.com. And thank you for watching. Until next time.
Thorns where my crown was. I'll be weak, but I'm alive from the dust until dawn. Yeah, I'll survive, 'cause I got sweet